Love and greetings to each one of you. Welcome to the 11th talk in the series of Bhagavad Gita as interpreted by Gurudev Paramahansa Yoganandaji in his book God Talks With Arjuna. Today's topic is relinquishing the fruits of action. Relinquishing the fruits of action is one of the noble concepts of Indian philosophy coming from higher ages, having deep spiritual significance. Ordinary man cannot grasp the full import of this principle. He would only wonder, if I am to relinquish the fruits of action, why not relinquish the action itself and the consequent problems? A spiritual person, on the other hand, realizes that God is the doer and he has to play only a part in this cosmic play. Cheerfully and willingly, the spiritual person would continue to play whatever role is assigned to him. The benefits of relinquishing the fruits of action are available here and hereafter. Here, freedom from anxiety and hence peace of mind. People are often anxious about the results of their actions. So that anxiety would be conquered if we relinquish the fruits of action and hence peace of mind. God takes the responsibility of our actions if we do so, as a father takes responsibility for an obedient son. That is here. Hereafter, no karmic bindings follow for a person who relinquishes the fruits of action. Results anyway follow in action. Bhagavan Sri Krishna explained this noble principle to Arjuna in the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Today we will study slokas 47 to 51 as interpreted by Guruji Paramahansa Yoganandaji in his book God Talks With Arjuna. Let us start with the 47th sloka. I request Swami Vasudevanandaji to sing the sloka.
कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूः मा ते सङ्गोऽस्त्वकर्मणि.
The plain meaning goes like this. The human right is for activity only, and never for the resultant fruits of action. Do not consider thyself the creator of the fruits of thy activities, neither allow thyself attachment to inactivity. This is the plain meaning given by Guruji. Then he explains, While interpreting this sloka, Guruji classified men into three categories depending on their activities and, more importantly, depending on the motives behind their activities. The first group consists of those who live for their own selfish happiness and for no other reason. People are there, why they are working? It's only for selfish happiness. That's the only goal. That could be one of the goals, that's permitted. But if one is completely focused for own selfishness, what would I get? What would I get? That's one category of people. Those who act for themselves must bear the binding karmic burden of responsibility of their actions. No, karmic burden is that one has to carry. If one is fully focused only on self-goal, what benefit I can get out of my actions? Human beings, Guruji says, should therefore play their designated roles not for the satisfaction of their own egos, but for the working out of the divine plan. No, not just for my own ego's sake, but work out a divine plan. And Guruji is compassionate. He understands that we don't understand always what is our role. What is my role in this cosmic drama? Guruji understands that. It's not easy to find out. But however, if we seek God's response in meditation, the voice of our inner conscience guides us aright. That's assurance given by Guruji. If we sincerely seek God's response in meditation, the inner conscience guides us aright what to do. Then, whether one's work is that of an executive in a corporate, or a simple household management, or raising children, or it could be a very simple job in the eyes of fellow men, but still the person is playing an important role in this cosmic scenario. Accept whatever role comes your way as divine. For instance, in the family, we have father, mother, grandparents, elders. We have different people. They are playing different roles. Is one greater than the other? Is father greater than the mother or the other way? No, they have different roles to play. All of them are important. For instance, I have this physical body with various parts. Hands, feet, stomach, eyes. Which is greater? They're all needed. If I think that I am the most important, if stomach stops functioning for a few days, then it knows. No, everyone has a role to play. Just imagine our whole life, we are so comfortably living. What is our life without a carpenter or an electrician? We may not give so much importance to an electrician, but if something goes wrong in our home with electricity, there may not be. AC or TV or food or anything, everything may go out. But he has a role to play. That we should realize. There is nothing like inferior or superior action in this cosmic drama. In the eyes of God, everyone has to play some role. Next, second category. We have to avoid to be in the first category where one works only for selfish interest. And egotistical performer of his life's duties, giving no credit to God, nevertheless perform his duties. Therefore, he receives divine grace in the form of some good karma and material happiness. Even though he works with selfish interest, having no thought of God, still he gets some good karma in terms of, some personal satisfaction is there, material comforts are there which he acquired. Something is there. But the person who is inactive, avoids action, he is much worse. He doesn't gain any good benefit at all. He is avoiding work. And this is much more important for those spiritual people, so-called, with half-baked ideas that one who is interested in God should not be working hard. That's what some people think. This is worldly activity. This is God's activities. No. Then he receives benefit neither from the man nor from God. No, both would desert him. Inactivity is something that must be avoided at all costs. Even a person who works with selfish interest is better than the one who is not active at all. Laziness is not an excuse for spiritual pursuits. Laziness in other activities. A lazy person can never find God. Let me share with you one story. There was one very successful person. He earned a lot of money, by his hard work. Then at some point he thought that now I have enough, not only for me, even for my next generation. So I don't have to work. He just retired. And he was keeping, inactive. He had a son. He found one very intelligent girl and got him married to her. Her name is Kaveri. She is very intelligent, very mature. And they were all very happy family. Father, son, daughter-in-law. One day, the father-in-law, he was taking food, generally very well laid out, lavish dinner he was taking. At that time, one monk came and stood before the door and asked Bhikshandehi, asked for food. This person, while taking food, he just looked up, saw him, didn't react, and again bent his head down and started continuing with his food. Then once again he asked. Again he raised his head, didn't respond, and resumed eating. 3 times it happened. Then the daughter-in-law, Kaveri, she approached that monk and said, "My father-in-law is busy taking stale food. You please try your luck elsewhere." And that monk went away, the sannyasi. The father-in-law was furious. Such fresh food he is taking, served by her, and she is insulting me, that too in the presence of some third person. How could she do that? And he was so furious. No, you, there's no need for me to take stale food. Even now I am not taking. And you insulted me. So you don't deserve to be in my home. Get out of my home. Then some good sense prevailed on him and said, "No, I should not do this. I will tell what has happened to our village elders and then ask her to leave." Then he called for a panchayat. People came. Then explained this, what she did. She cannot be in my home. She insulted me. Yes, that's true. It should not have happened. Then one elder, he went to her and said, "Kaveri, we have such good faith in you. You are such a nice, matured, intelligent person. How could you do this? How did you say?" Then she said, "My father-in-law still has very good health and intelligence. But he retired. He didn't want to work anymore because he had earned enough earlier. And he is just relaxing now, although he is capable of working and helping others. While he is relaxing, what he is doing is he is enjoying the fruits of his previous efforts. No, he is enjoying the benefits of his previous efforts. That means the fruits of previous actions, stale food. He is capable of working now. He is not. He is only enjoying the fruits of the previous actions. That's why I say it is stale food. Then father-in-law looked at her. Yes, you are right. Earlier I was earning for my own sake. Now God has given me good health. Still I must be working, giving something to others. So that's it. And he requested her to stay back and help her in future too. So that's the thing. We can't just depend on our past actions. We have, as long as we have the ability, we should keep helping others. Helping others is very important for our own happiness. That is the right action. That is relinquishing the fruits of action for my own benefit, not for others. That I have to try to see that others get benefited. Now I have one real life example too. You must be knowing, at least some of you must have heard about Sovan Chandra Rai, S.C. Rai, who was the former General Secretary of YSS. He was a retired IAS officer. He was serving. He retired as an additional Chief Secretary of Bihar. He was General Secretary. And I was his secretary in his office when I was a young brahmachari. I was helping him. One day, there was an invitation card. Bihar Pensioners Samaj. Retired people, they have an association. They have a meeting and there is an invitation at 11 o'clock. It was there, he was here in the office at 11. Are you not going? I asked. No, I am not going. Why? Because he is a senior person, they respect him. Why are you not going? No, what do I say? I found that these pensioners, they meet together, they keep on talking, how do I get our arrears, how to increase our dearness allowance, how to get this, how to get that benefit from government. This is all what they discuss. 30, 40 years they have worked and they got their salaries, now they are getting their pension, now still getting more. Now we are at the stage where we have to think what we can give back. What we can give back to society. And that thought is not there in that pensioners Samaj discussions. So I am not interested. Isn't it? There is a message here. Yes. It's not only we work for our selfishness. We have to work for others. So anyway, in the process we should not be inactive. Third category of people consists of those who are wise and perform all mundane, moral and spiritual duties only with the thought of pleasing God. When the Gita says not to desire the fruits of action, it doesn't mean one should work like an automaton. The idea is not to worry about the fruits. Doesn't mean that we should not have an idea of the possible results of our actions. We have to think about it. As a result, the teaching of the Gita is to work intelligently, ambitiously, keenly, trying to create the right fruits of action, not for oneself, but for God and all His children. That is the meaning. Not to think of whatever happens, I will just go. I have nothing to do with the fruits of action. No, we should work the thought of what are the possible results of my actions. Intelligently, ambitiously, keenly, but not for selfish reasons, but to help others and play a role in this cosmic drama to please God. The devotee who performs all good actions just for God lives on earth with divine approval and great inner satisfaction, without being hurt by failures or overjoyed by successes. He is active. Definitely active. Now, here is a story. One ship was about to sail, and everything was fine, weather was good, and green signal was given. It was a passenger ship. All passengers were excited because they are going into the sea. At that time, the captain, he sat down, started praying. And these people got restless. This is the time to pray? Everything is fine, weather is good, and green signal is given. Now he is praying. They were criticizing, but this man, he continued with his prayers. After prayers, he set out. And after a day or two, when they were deep in the mid-sea, then a storm broke. Lot of weather calamity. Then ship was tossing. There were a lot of difficulties. Then they said that now God has to help us. Now let's pray that the journey goes well. The weather doesn't get worse. When they started praying, they said, we don't know how to pray. Then one of them advised, the captain was praying, he must be very adept. So we'll ask his help. Let him lead prayers. And they went to captain and asked, so we want to pray for safety. Please lead us in prayers. Then he looked at them and said, when it is calm, I pray. When it is storm, I work. Now it's not the time for prayer. It's not the time for prayer. See, the principle is, there is a time for prayer, time for effort, time for surrender, giving the fruits of action to God. So that's it. A man of prayer must be a man of care, as Gandhiji said. So we are not relieved of the action. We are not relieved of the responsibilities. We are just relieved of the pressure of the fruits of action, thinking about it. That's the meaning of this. Guruji's quotation, therefore, each devotee should perform all duties to the body, mind and soul by hygienic, thoughtful and meditative living, avoiding selfishly ambitious activity, by being divinely ambitious and avoiding non-activity which satisfies neither human ego nor God. Next, Guruji says that when a person sincerely trying to find his role in this creation, by prayer and meditation, seeking God's guidance and starts spiritual activities, he finds that there are certain things he has to face which were not so pleasant. Why this? I want only God. I'm interested in meditation, in addition to my actual duties. By why these so many thoughts? Why so many inclinations? For instance, one may be very sincere in his outward activity and his spiritual pursuits. But suddenly he finds that there is a lot of urge for recognition, urge for name, urge for reward. Why this? I don't want this. Why this? That's all coming from past incarnations. That vasanas are there, that vasanas. It's just possible that a very successful person, in business, he worked so hard all the time for selfish interest. But towards the end of life, he may have realized that, no, this is not all what is required. He may be more serious about spiritual pursuits. But he can't leave all the thoughts of that ambitions, They continue in the next incarnation. That is why we face some storms in our meditations, which we are not interested in, but still we face. Now, even spiritual people, they have tendencies like anger, sometimes even jealousy, pride, greed. He is a spiritual person. Definitely he is not interested in any of these things, but they come inside. That is again from previous lives coming up. They are coming up. So one should have, that tenacity. Yes, these are not given to me by somebody else. I have acquired, I am carrying, that they will have to do. That also becomes, overcoming these negative tendencies also becomes part of my duty. And how did I come to know? Only when I start spiritual pursuit, then I come to know these negative tendencies. I come to know. If I don't start any spiritual pursuits, these remain. They don't come up. For a non-spiritual person, he is never angry. Anger means natural. He never thinks that he is angry. He never thinks that he is greedy or jealous. So a spiritual person, he should not get worried that I am becoming worse. He is not becoming worse. He is becoming more and more purified. Any dust becomes more clear now. And that is simple interpretation. Now, esoteric interpretation. The three states, selfish interest, inactivity, and working for God alone. The three stages, and that happens in meditation too. A deeper interpretation is this. Guruji explained like this. When we start our meditations, initially there is a lot of disturbances, restless body, and then thoughts. There are a lot of disturbances there. The consciousness is more in lower chakras, like Muladhara and Swadhisthana. There, lot of this one, and there is no apparent progress. We are not going deep into meditation. Anything which disturbs, which doesn't take you to calmness, is inactivity as far as spiritual pursuits are concerned. The inactive state is there. And some people drop there. I am not cut for spirituality. I am not cut for meditation because this is what I am. They may drop out. That is inactivity. He is getting into inaction. But somehow we have to move on and fight. Then slowly the consciousness moves upward from Lambar, Manipura to upward it goes. Then there is some calmness is there. Then some even experiences like lights or sounds or listening to sound, some feeling of assurance, everything will come. That is one is enjoying to say in a way, self-satisfaction. Because there is calmness, there is light, there is sound, some spiritual experience. But many people here erroneously stop there. Because he is satisfied, some fulfillment is there. But that is not the goal of meditation. The goal of meditation is still go further and reach that absolute, Satchidanand, that ever new joy, that is there. But people may, with selfish interest, my ego is satisfied to a certain extent, we stay there. That needs to be avoided. Still go further, where God contact is possible, in ever new joy. That is Kutastha and Sahasrara. These are the three stages again. Inactivity, ego satisfying activity in meditation, and then pure God contact. And what is the solution? Solution is patience. Because as soon as we sit down, we can't expect calmness. Give time, practice hangsa, some calmness comes. Then Om technique, then Kriya. Then as we progressing, as time progresses, then more and more calmness comes on you, eventually leading to that absolute stillness. The time has to be, we have to give time. It's like this. Take muddy water, put in a glass, mud starts settling. It takes some time for the mud to settle down and then have a clear layer of water. Similarly, as soon as we sit in meditation, the mud has settled down, thoughts, restlessness. If we get discouraged and move on or get up, that means we are yielding to inactivity. inactivity. And go on, not satisfying with simple joys. Go on and on and on. Give time, give time. Then we realize, coming to that ever new joy. 3 categories of people, even in meditation. Now let's go to next sloka, 48.
कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा धनञ्जय सिद्धय सिद्धयोः समो भूत्वा समत्वं योग उच्यते.
The plain meaning given by Guruji, O Dhananjaya, remaining immersed in yoga, perform all actions, forsaking attachment to their fruits, being indifferent to success and failure. This mental evenness is termed yoga. Yoga has different meanings. Yoga is union of this little self with infinite spirit. That union is yoga. Second definition is any path, that procedure that leads to that union is also termed as yoga. Like Kriya procedure. Kriya is yoga. Yoga. Third one is mental evenness. That remaining in that balanced state without being perturbed by failure or success. Mental evenness, that is yoga. And another definition given by Guru, given in Bhagavad Gita in 50th sloka is yoga karmasu kausalam, meaning perfection in action is yoga. That perfection in action is also yoga. That's fourth definition. Here we are dealing with mental evenness. Mental evenness is the native state of the soul. Native state of the soul. On the other hand, restlessness belongs to body and mind. No, body can be restless. We are all familiar with that. Body. And more so mind. No, it can very restless. Thoughts, this, that, emotions. That we are familiar. But when you come to that soul, that native state is always calmness. As long as we are identifying ourselves with body and our mind, we are in that restless state. So our aim should be to identify ourselves with the soul when we have that even-mindedness. Soul is a reflection of divinity. No? Soul is a reflection of God. God is even-minded. God, the Creator, is watching entire creation without being perturbed. So many things are happening because God has given free will to human beings. They do whatever they want. And He is watching all these things without being perturbed. Soul also can do that because soul is a part of the divinity. But we identify more with body and mind. That's why we get disturbed. Our aim is to go to that stage. Identify yourself with your soul, which remains in even-minded state. Aham Brahmasmi, meaning I am Brahman. As Brahman is even-minded, I must be even-minded. Then question is this, that even-mindedness, do I get that when I become God? Or I become God when I attain even-mindedness? Did you get my question? Is it that when I become God, I become even-minded? Or I have to become even-minded first to become God? Sadhana means that we have to cultivate that even-mindedness. And to cultivate this even-mindedness, one is mental. That means we keep thinking, what is good, what is bad, is there any reason for me to be disturbed? Even if I am disturbed, how long I would be in that disturbed state? Then quickly come to that steadiness without being disturbed. Because we are all human beings, something happens, we get disturbed. Or we we emotionally we get, reaction is there. But how long you remain in that? That's the point. How long? Quickly come back. For this, meditation helps. Meditation, even-mindedness is not theory. For someone who meditates, even when it's not theory, it's experience. It is experience. Now, you imagine, suppose something happened and you are disturbed. You are disturbed. Either you are overjoyed or you are in a painful state. Then go for meditation. Still it is there, that the disturbance is there. And you meditate for an hour or whatever it is. Afterwards you see, very likely you are not that disturbed. You are able to take it. Because meditation helped you to go to that state where you could go beyond these events here. So meditation helps. Regular meditation helps us to put us in that even-mindedness. So don't think that if I am to be even-minded, I should never react. I should never have the emotions. I should not get disappointed. Like that, don't think that. If things happen, we get some reactions are there. Pain is there. But how long you remain in that? Come out of it quickly. For that, meditation helps. Meditation helps. And I am sure, I am not talking about theory. It is experience. After meditation, definitely we are different. Definitely. More understanding is there. That's why meditation, if you are doing, that helps us to relinquish the fruits of action. Something happened, we are very happy with the results, very enjoying, then go for meditation. At the end of meditation, think about it. All that you won't be proud of what has happened. You will say, Guruji, thank you. God, it's because of you this has happened. Right time, right thought you gave. I could act that way. Thank you. Now that comes, sincerely it comes from within. Didn't it happen to you? No? There it's more out of humility. No, out of gratitude you express that. Not you feel very proud of what you achieved. It's more you express that. That is relinquishing the fruits of action. That is becoming more and more even-minded. Meditation does help. Meditation gives that experience of even-mindedness. Meditation leads to us to a state where we can relinquish the fruits of action. When something happens, we may enjoy, we may go into painful state. But after meditation, at least then we will be able to neutralize those emotions. Meditation is very important to develop this. The ability to relinquish the fruits of action. There we become so humble, give it to Guruji, give it to God. Another advice Guruji gave this. The spiritual aspirant should counterbalance his restlessness producing material activity by calmness producing spiritual meditation. See, Guruji is compassionate. He understands that we are to get involved in activity in this world. We are acting. We are in the midst of people. And when we are involved in activity, it does produce restlessness. It does produce various emotions, generates various emotions in us. It's most natural. Restlessness producing activity, emotions are very natural. But that should be counterbalanced by calmness producing spiritual meditation. Yes, during so many hours in the day, we are active, which means could be partly restless during all those hours. But after the hours, we just go and spend some time to counterbalance, get back that calmness, which is our native state. Again, we can spring back into activity, which produces some restlessness. The counterbalance. And the only way we can permanently establish in the inner evenness of yoga is by meditation. By meditation. So the words of Bhagavan Krishna to Arjuna are particularly significant to the meditating devotee. That is to you and me. He said, any yogi practicing meditation who is impatient or easily disturbed by the seemingly meager and slow results of meditation is acting with selfish motive, focused on the fruits of his actions. He should meditate only with the thought of pleasing and loving God. Then yoga, divine union with the immutable spirit, is sure to follow. As we are progressing in spiritual life, meditation takes a deeper meaning, It has a different purpose also in life. Initially, why we start meditation? Many people start meditation because it's a good habit, and it gives some peace, it's some joy. Meditation is a good thing, which is true. We start there. But as we go along, slowly, we also realize that meditation is something which takes to me a state where I can bring in God into my life, God contact. That is also there. That's even more spiritually. But initially, it's for conquering all this restlessness. But later, it's more for spiritual reasons. And then meditation becomes an appointment with God. Meditation is not just some calmness producing activity in the day, like I sleep, because it gives me relief, rest, rejuvenation. Sleep not only rejuvenation, but also it is my appointment with God, most for spiritual reasons. Joy or no joy, peace or no peace, thoughts or no thoughts, I am going to sit. Because that's my appointment with God. I have to. We come to that state. That is unselfish activity. Unselfish activity. We are doing it. In fact, one saint said, to meditate without results is unselfishness. To meditate without results is unselfishness. Still, I are going again for meditation. Although the previous meditation was not so successful. Unselfishness. Dhamataji said that spiritual life means giving. That also implies giving time to meditation. Because that's the time for God. There is no one between you and the world. It's God. So giving your time to God, that itself is meditation. Love for God. Okay, we'll go to next sloka, 49.
Duren yavaram karma buddhiyogadhananjaya buddhau sharanamanvichya kripanaha phalahetava.
The plain meaning given by Guruji. Ordinary action performed with desire is greatly inferior to action united to the guidance of wisdom. Therefore, O Dhananjaya, seek shelter in the ever-directing wisdom. Miserable are those who perform actions only for their fruits. The main thing, as we mentioned earlier, is giving the responsibility to God. When thought of God is there in all our activities, when God, Guruji, are partners in our activities, then so much relief. Like, business, son joins father in the business. If son is obedient, does what father expects, then if something goes wrong, father takes responsibility. He takes responsibility because cheerfully, obediently has been working. Something went wrong, still he takes responsibility. Similarly, when we make God, Guruji, as partners in our daily life, in our activities, we are doing with them, for them, I'm doing with them. Then whatever happens, they take charge. God takes charge. Guruji he takes responsibility. We don't have to worry. But if it's for me, I am doing it for my sake, for this benefit, then things go wrong. Another example Guruji gave is this. A mule, like a donkey, carrying a heavy bag of gold. It's carrying a bag of gold. But as far as, it's very precious. But as far as donkey is concerned, it only suffers from the weight. It has no clue of its value. It doesn't know any but it's only curses. What is this weight? What is this weight? Similarly, a person may be endowed with a lot of wealth. If he doesn't use wealth for others also, in addition to himself, then he is carrying that burden of wealth. All the worries, fears, greed, everything, all these, he is concerned of that, more of that than the benefits of the wealth. Benefits of the wealth. He is carrying so much wealth, but burden. Now, wealth means what? It could be fear of losing it, or greed for getting more. Fear, greed, these things are associated with wealth. And these are the things he is carrying, rather than seeing how best he can use to make himself happy and make others happy. Making others happy should be a part of our life. Then it makes us also happy. Not only in the life beyond, even in this life, unselfishness leads to happiness. And Guruji, so many places he explained. All saints have explained this. Guruji said, the way to freedom is through service to others. The way to happiness is through meditation and being in tune with God. In another place, Guruji said, in being of spiritual, mental and material service to others, you will find your own needs fulfilled. As you forget self in service to others, you will find that without seeking it, your own cup of happiness will be full. Without seeking it, your own happiness will be there. It's so important to serve others for our own happiness. Now, here is a story. There was one very rich girl. She is very young, in her 20s. Very, very rich. And she somehow developed the habit of going to a slum area and helping people there. Their health needs and this and that they would do, playing with children, all that she was doing it. Very, very unhygienic conditions all around, filthy areas and all that. One day, their relative came. When he came, she wasn't there. When I asked him, she is right now there in that slum colony. And he went there and saw, he just couldn't stand. Because for his level of standard of living, he couldn't just stand. But she was happily doing this, that, etc. with children and all those patients. Then he said, I won't do this. Even someone gave me 1 million rupees. Even for 1 million, I won't do this. How are you doing? She said, I won't do it for 1 million rupees either. I am doing it for him. She pulled out a locket. Bhagavan Sri Krishna was there. I do it for him, not for 1 million rupees. Because there is some connection here. They are all children of same God. That. And as one is not involved in that, never had an experience, how it helps inside. He doesn't appreciate that. Why are you doing this? Why can't you throw some money and come out of that? No. And here is one real life story I want to share. This is from the life of Ratan Tata. We all know him, that successful billionaire. He left his body last year, I guess. And someone asked him in an interview, could you please share with us some moments of your happiness? Some moments of your happiness. He thought and said, there are 4 stages. No, I was happy when I made wealth. That gives me happiness, wealth. And when I purchased expensive things, that made me happy. Third, when I took up big projects, that made me happy. But all these things did not give me the real happiness. Meaning, he was talking those words he using, but meaning that superficially my ego level, they are satisfied. This I am doing this, I am achieving this. But deep within there is still some vacuum that he didn't use those words, of course. But fourth one is, once I donated 200 wheelchairs to children with disabilities. Then I went there once to see them. When the children were using the wheelchairs and they were playing with each other, talking with each other with full of joy, when I saw that scene, children on wheelchairs, and that has given me the real happiness. I felt that real happiness. I was so thrilled. Then I was coming. When I was coming, one boy, this disabled boy, and hugged my knees, legs I hugged. Then I looked at him and said, what more you want? What else you want? Thinking that this boy may require something more than this. What else you need? Then he looked at me and said, really, I want to see your face and remember it, so that when I meet you in heaven, I will thank you once again. And Ratan Tata said that his words changed my life. His words changed my life. I want to remember your face, so that when I meet you in heaven, I would like to thank you once again. That has given me deepest joy. Otherwise, carrying all this wealth could be a burden. How to keep it? How to multiply it? So this is required. This is required. And as Guruji was mentioning here, live for others. Then it's easy to give the fruits, relinquish the fruits of action. That comes. And some of you must be knowing this very popular of doctor yesteryears, Bernie Siegel. He said something like this: I have spent a lifetime among the wonders of modern medical treatment. But the greatest lesson I have learned, to one of the most intriguing questions anyone can ask: how can you be happy for the rest of your life? That's a question. As a doctor, my answer is this. Answer is very simple. Do something for someone else out of love. That one prescription can make everyone a doctor. And do more to cure the ills of life than all the medicine on earth. Do something to someone else out of love. It's not only spiritual, it is mundane too. Do something out of love. Do something out of love. That's part of our sadhana. It should be part of our life. Part of our life. Then all these slokas have much deeper meaning. Next, the question is this: where are the opportunities? I know Mother Teresa. She does so much out of love. She sees God in others. But I don't have the time. I have so many responsibilities. My family responsibilities, professional responsibility, social responsibility. So much in the midst of all these things. Where do I have time to go and serve others. I don't have the time. Yes. Serving others mean something like this, We all have friends, colleagues, relatives, neighbors, we all have, all these things. And others should feel, and here is a person on whom I can count when there is a need. That is being serviceful. We may not do on day-to-day basis anything. We may not go out and do anything. But people around us, colleagues, friends, relatives, neighbors, they should know if there is a need, I can count on him. If your actions are like that, your behavior past like that, if someone can count on you, that is being serviceful to others. Another thing is transmute work into service. We're all working. Transmute work into service. How? The simplest example I can give is this. Sometimes we go to a bank or a government office. Even in a bank, now you go to one person, one officer, and whatever job, you may take so much time, so many questions, do this, do that, and it may take a lot of time you may take to do your job. But you go to someone else, he may take, he is unknown to you, a new person, but he is an officer there. Within minutes he may finish your job. It's possible. Similarly, in the government office, someone may attend to you immediately and he may do your job, but somebody else may go on taking time. Because here, one officer is working, the other officer is serving. They are doing the same job, same salary, everything is the same. But one is working, other one is serving. This could be not only for government jobs, it can be anywhere. Even volunteering. Even in volunteering also, we could be working or we could be serving. Now, that means when a person is in front of us and someone is there, the thought should be, nature should be that, what can I do to make this person a little more happy? That should be there. What can I do to make this person a little more happy? Sometimes just a word of solace, that makes him more happy. The consciousness slowly changes. What can I serve? What can I do? What can I do? That should come into our lives. That should come into our lives more and more. Serving. That's very important. Not just working, but serving. That's what Guruji mentioned there. Now let's go to next sloka, 50th.
बुद्धि युक्तो जहातीह उभे सुकृत दुष्कृते तस्माद्योगाय युज्यस्व योगः कर्मसु कौशलम्.
The plain meaning given by Guruji in God Talks with Arjuna. One who is united to cosmic wisdom goes beyond the effects of both virtue and vice. And even here in this life. Therefore, devote thyself to yoga, divine union. Yoga is the art of proper action. Yoga karmasu kausalam. Yoga is the art of proper action. Guruji brings in a very interesting analogy here. Now, there is a prisoner who was sentenced to be in jail, let us say for 10 years or whatever it is. And if he is in the prison with a rebellious attitude, not cooperating with the officers, prison officers, he goes on like that always, then he has to necessarily serve the 10 years term there in the prison before he is released. But if someone else who is also awarded 10 years prison imprisonment, but he works by cooperating with the warden authorities, and his behavior is proper, then there is a likelihood that his term may be reduced, released earlier? No, it's easy to understand. Anyway, he is in the prison, whatever may be the reason. In the prison, then, if you are rebellious, you have to fulfill the entire, or come out. Now, this is applicable to you and to me also. Are we not prisoners? We are all prisoners of our past bad karma. We are all, although we are souls, we are not enjoying all the time the beauties of the soul. The qualities of souls evade us. We are more in this world, in a prison-like thing. Our consciousness is omnipresence. Ever new joy, perfect love. These are the qualities. But I am not immersed in those qualities. More in this regular human nature. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Madhamasta. All these things are there. Emotions, these all. I am a prisoner. I'm living in a prison. Now, how do we cut short? How do we cut short this prison period? If we don't do anything and with a rebellious attitude, with unpleasant, mind all the time, what is happening, why is happening, like that, not cooperating with cosmic laws, niyam, so many things are there. If you are not cooperative, we'll continue. Probably in our case, the term may be extended to. Rather than, but if you are meditative, if you just accept God's will, if you do that, it will be reduced. It will be reduced. One thing we should remember, definitely this karma is there, which is making me prisoner, and which eventually preventing me from having that God realization. Between God and me, my karma is standing, and it is not necessary that I have to go on suffering. Although suffering is one of the ways we mitigate our karma. Through suffering, we reduce our karma. It takes us closer to God. But there are 3 ways of working out karma. 1 is by suffering, 2 by service, 3 by meditation. So, no doubt, part of it goes through suffering. That is there anyway in our lives. Suffering is there. But let us also include the other 2 aspects, service to others and meditation, which will take us closer to God quickly. And another solacing thought Guruji gave here. He said, though Nirvikalpa Samadhi is not quickly attained by even the veteran devotee, yet every moment of deep meditation spent in seeking union with God, every effort to practice even-mindedness and renunciation of desires for fruits of action brings it reward, removing sorrow and establishing peace and joy and mitigating karma, and lessening errors in decisive actions by greater attunement with God's guiding wisdom. Let's understand this long quotation. Nirvikal Samadhi means unbroken continuity in God consciousness while yet performing all life's exacting duties. Savikalpa Samadhi is a state where we are in that Samadhi, we don't be doing anything else. We are just in touch with God. And when we come to our duties, we lose that. Nirvikal Samadhi means all the time, irrespective of our activities, we are in that consciousness. That is difficult to achieve. Of course, that's the ultimate goal. But all these things which Guruji mentioned here, they help us in leading a purposeful life, not only leading us towards Nirvikalpa Samadhi, even otherwise, here itself we get many benefits. Every moment of deep meditation spent in seeking union with God, all our efforts in meditation, that's helping us. Every effort to practice even-mindedness, not getting unruffled, and every effort We may not be fully successful, but effort is important. Every effort we make to remain even-mindedness in spite of dualities. And then our renunciation of desire for the fruits of action, relinquishing the fruits of action, they bring the reward. What is the reward? Removing sorrow and establishing peace and joy. That is important, It establishes peace and joy when we do this. Spend every moment we spend in meditation, every effort to practice even-mindedness, and renunciation of desires for the fruits of action. They bring that peace and joy and also help mitigating our past bad karma. And more importantly, lessening errors in decisive actions by greater attunement with God's guiding wisdom. So we not only want ecstasy of that samadhi, but we also want guidance for day-to-day living. Ecstasy in samadhi, that's something we eventual. That only, but even here we need guidance for day-to-day living. That comes from all these actions, practicing, making effort to practice even-mindedness, effort to live, relinquish the fruits of action, and meditation. These things help us. Next, last sloka, 51.
कर्मजं बुद्धियुक्ता हि फलं त्यक्त्वा मनीषिणः जन्मबन्धविनिर्मुक्ताः पदं गच्छन्त्यनामयम्.
The plain meaning from God Talks with Arjuna. Those who have mastered their minds become engrossed in infinite wisdom. They have no further interest in any fruits of actions. Freed thus from the chain of rebirth, they attain the state beyond sorrow. Guruji said, the purpose of God's plan for man is not an endless series of rebirths. God's plan is not that we go on taking rebirths. That is our own doing, because we like it. No, we like the events here, that's why we keep on. God's plan is not that. God's plan is that be here in this world, learn, practice, and go beyond and merge with God. That's His plan. Learn. God is giving us an opportunity to learn and work out and then go back. But here we somehow were interested in repeating the experience here. By performing in this one life all actions with the consciousness of God, one can win the final liberation. Guruji is assuring, one lifetime by performing all actions with the consciousness of God. Many people actually are convinced of the existence of God. Many people. But God is there. But God is limited to some special occasions and festivals. God is there for festivals, That is there. God is there for children before exams. God is there for elderly before going to hospitals. God is there, not that God is not there. God is there and He has a role too. But to have to have the goal of having that God consciousness, to know what He is, what's my relationship with Him, what is, that is not there. Saints are all talking about it. Yes, the ultimate goal is find your relationship with God, which means living in perfect joy. Perfect love, perfect wisdom. That's what finding God means. Continue to live, in the same life, but in love, joy, and wisdom. That's what saints are saying. But still, we limit God only to certain activities. God had planned to liberate the human soul after a short wisdom experience on this earth. For this short experience, the short means I don't know how short it is, but after some experience, he hopes to liberate. But through the misuse of our free will, I think that's the only mistake God has done, giving us that free will. Otherwise, we cannot find God with God's creation at all. So perfect in all respects, except that free will He has given me. However, man becomes earthbound, involving himself needlessly in a prolonged series of reincarnations. Human misery is not part of God's plan. Human misery is not part of God's plan. Guruji's statement. You can't take the words of an avatar lightly. Whatever misery we are seeing around us, in us, that's not part of God's plan. That's our own creation. Our own creation. Somehow we have to get out of it. The unhappy man is simply the one who is out of touch with the Lord. If you are in touch with God in meditations, morning and again evening, then during the day also, in spite of difficult situations, we are not that unhappy. Although situations are not very conducive, but still we can maintain that composure. Any situation can be handled with right attitude, understanding and faith. And when we understand that God is the goal of life, it is relatively easy to relinquish the fruits of our actions. Now, God is the goal, not achievement here. Not achievement in what I am doing now. God is the goal. God would be pleased with whatever I am doing. Then it's a little more easy to relinquish the fruits of action. The ordinary person is bound like a prisoner in a dungeon. No, because as a person, what he goes by his experiences through his senses. Whatever he gets through tongue, he is happy. Food, eyes, TV and other things, he is happy. Ears, touch, this. Whatever senses give, that's all his happiness is bound by. And isn't it like living in a dungeon, in a prison? Because he knows nothing more actually. This is all what is available. But a spiritual person knows there is a surprise beyond these experiences. That great surprise is something which gives much deeper love, deeper joy, deeper taste in life. Whatever I can get through my eyes, ears, tongue, senses, that's there, definitely I enjoy. But there's something which is more meaningful, much deeper. That's what I want. That only experience can make people to walk towards that, to move towards that experience. That experience can be had only through meditation, spiritual practices. Otherwise, we are living like a prisoner bound by our own sense experiences, which are okay, which are nice to a certain extent, but they have limitations. The man who doesn't meditate is indifferent to the soul because he doesn't know any better. A man who doesn't meditate is indifferent to soul because he doesn't know any better. But the yogi is indifferent to the senses because he knows them too well. The other person knows only senses. Enjoyment comes through senses. That's why he is there. But yogi knows that there is something beyond, much more. He knows them too well. They can't give more than this. That's why he is seeking God. And actually, it's a question of experience. I would think that anyone, not only I read it also, Guru said that one who knows how to meditate will definitely meditate. One who knows how to meditate will definitely meditate because it gives so much, so much. And people are not aware of that meditation. People are not aware of this yoga science, which gives unconditional joy. Otherwise, for my joy, something should happen. I should eat something, I meet some people, I should hear some good news, something then makes me happy. That makes me happy. But here, nothing needs to happen. Nothing needs to happen. I just go inside through Hangsa, Om, Kriya, stillness. I taste that joy. That's why, we are so fortunate. We are so fortunate. Now, never cease to express your gratitude to Guruji for giving us this yoga science. Systematically, we can contact that joy, which keeps us on a spiritual path. To summarize, relinquishing the fruits of action is a noble concept coming from higher ages, which has deep spiritual significance. But while relinquishing fruits of action, we should not relinquish the action itself. Inaction is very unpardonable, actually. It's not pardonable at all. Inaction we should avoid. Whenever we are doing some work, we should have attention on the possibility of consequent results. We have to work with attention, intelligently, keenly, efficiently to produce the right results. And action should be of some help to someone else. Meaning, transmute work into service to others. And there must be thought of God in our activities, regular routine activities. There must be thought of God. Knowing that we are playing some roles in this cosmic drama. These are the principles we should remember. Then it's easy, relatively easy, to relinquish the fruits of action. Okay, a few moments of silence. Now I have some announcements. We are very happy to announce that the 2 new e-books are available from today. The first one is Sayings of Paramahansa Yogananda. This is, of course, we all have seen this book available in many different languages. Here it is available now in English, e-book. And this is a collection of sayings, anecdotes, words of wisdom from Guruji's loving guidance given to those who approached him for counsel. From there they are collected. If you see, shining from each page are his compassionate understanding of humanity and love for God. That is the combination. He understands human nature. At the same time, he has that love for God. That is shown here. And other book is someone has to help me. Yeah. Finding the joy within you. This is it. Again, it's e-book in English. Finding the joy within you is a collection of articles, talks by Dayamataji. And if you go through this, they are on different topics. We can see how one can live in the joy and security of a God-centered life. A very simple God-centered life. What joy it can give and what security it can give. It explains that. And it's a collection of informal talks, counsel, personal reminiscences of Dayamataji. It conveys in-depth guidance which Dayamataji observed from Guruji. Now, that lead to the realization of love and joy hidden in each one of us. That is there in each one of us. We will be able to experience that. That is the second book. These two e-books are available from today. And I also would like to announce one more thing. 3 days ago, that was the 9th, this book, Hindi book, Bhagavad Gita ka Yoga Vigyan, that wisdom of Bhagavad Gita, Yoga of Bhagavad Gita. In Hindi, this was released by the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand 3 days ago. And this is available for us. If you recall, in one of our Gita talks earlier, we released the book in English. No? Yoga of Bhagavad Gita. Now it's Bhagavad Gita Yoga Vigyan. Okay.